All right, guys, welcome to another edition of The Gliders on BetWGB TV. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I'm here once again, standing in as your host for today's edition of the show. It's a much changed lineup today when it comes to the crew on set today, and it promises to be entertaining. It promises to be so sweet on the show today. So stay glued to your screen. Keep it locked with us. Once again, my name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I'm here with the guys. First off, I've got Timothy. You know him very well. Timothy, good to be here on the show again. No much introduction for Timothy as well. But even though the weekend was kind of rough. But Timothy, welcome. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, Emmanuel, good to be back on the show. It's always fun when we are right here on the Gliders. So let's have fun as usual. And of course, like you did say, it's a much different lineup, and I'm really excited for what I can see. I have a setup question for someone, but let me hand over to you first.
well, we can't wait for that to happen. But talking about the lineup on the show today, we've got two guests on the show today. But the first is one of the finest when it comes to sports photography in the country. Read my lips very well. He's the finest when it comes to sports photography. No one does it better, and he's Jamiu Adelase. Jamiu, good to have you on the Gliders. Calm down.
I've been here once, but not in front of the camera. I was behind the camera. Then the Gliders is also a family to me. So it's good to be on the show. And I'm always used to sitting people down and putting them on the spotlight. But
now you are in the spotlight.
Now I'm in the spotlight. And this is the first time I'll actually be doing a podcast, or probably being in front of camera in a podcast or anyway. And I would say in the Gliders family, I think this is the first time for everybody. And Mikolo and Joy is not here. Mm-hmm. They are probably the first time to be on a plane, if I'm not mistaken.
they will definitely see this.
and it's true that they are doing their own and at the international stage. And let me tell you something. I'm very happy for those two because they've come so far, and I'm glad that they are making their first. Joy is making our first football international competition, and Mikolo is doing his second one. And Charlie Mikolo, we've come all the way from Unilag to this place, and I'm happy for both of them. And I wish them all the best in Morocco. And I'm also here to do my first time on TV, or probably YouTube or anywhere. So it's a good day.
Well, we can't wait to have you spill on the show, Jamiu, but good to have you once again. We are very proud to have you amongst us on the show today. Well, the other guest I have on the show, you might have seen him when you saw Jamiu speaking. He's always going to hold a special place to me because he's the first player who gifted me my first MPFL jersey. I've received jerseys a lot from footballers, but the very first when it comes to the MPFL, I was gifted by this young man. His name is Okachi. Okachi, good to have you on the Gliders today.
Welcome, Okachi.
Thank you very much.
Tell us what you make of.
My guy, you always bully me. No, it's not only bully me. You usually have now. I think he's going to respect me more now because everywhere Okachi has been to, he always sees me there. And there's one thing it does not seem as he
I didn't want to tell him. I don't want to tell him you were here. I want him to come and see.
Now, you know that this guy he's not just a photographer. He's more than just a photographer.
He'll still be a photographer.
But I will tell you that even when you see me, you always see me in a bigger place than being a photographer. Do you understand? So respect that fact. You're my guy.
Antonio, so is this your first time on podcast on the microphone?
Not really. I think this is my second time being on a podcast, and I've seen this severally on Twitter, and I think it's a nice thing you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So you heard from the guys. You can't wait to spiel on the show today. But I think Jamiu. No. So I think Jamiu has let the cat out of the bag already. In case you're wondering, where's Mikolo? Where is Joy? They're on their way to the WAFCON in Morocco. And we are going to be seeing content from the guys right there all the way from Morocco. The Women's African Cup of Nations currently ongoing. Congratulations to the Super Falcons. They made it to the quarterfinals. We'll delve on that at some point later in the show. But like Jamiu has already let the cat out of the bag. So we wish Mikolo joy, and of course Edafe Elegbete also amongst the crew there in Morocco. So we wish them all the best, and we'll be expecting content all the way from Morocco. So yeah, Timothy, you wanted to chip in something to Jamiu before we go
Yeah, I
on the
think
show.
he mentioned it already while he was talking. Not really a setup thing. But when people see Jamiu Adelase, or when they hear Jamiu Adelase, they see this sports photographer, and they don't know that this is someone who can also talk sports. Used to talk sports at Unilag FM, done some other radio stations. I just want him to talk about the experience from actually being that person that used to talk, then transitioning fully into the sports photography. Because I mean, whether he's a photographer, he's still a sports journalist, and he's still someone that has the knowledge about sports. So I just wanted to share a story.
It's not, how will I put it? It's actually something I love. And when I was leaving the corporate world to join the sport industry, I knew that I don't like the AC that much. Do you understand? So I don't. No, it's not about. No, if I'm inside, I enjoy it when I'm outside and I'm creating moments. I'm freezing moments.
An outdoor, more like an outdoor person.
Yes, I like to travel. I like that. And that's why I actually chose this life. No, I didn't choose this life. This life chose me because I always say that I have my experience working in the sport in the corporate industry. I did for 2.5 years, and I felt like I was being caged. So I needed to go out and do what I love doing most. And credit to my brother, because my brother made sure I love sports. My brother used to buy a lot of newspaper. Ibrahim Adelashe, wherever you are, shout out to you. And my dad usually beat him for that. But at the end of the day, he loves sport more than I do. But I actually took it a notch up higher, and I feel like I could make money from the passion and stuff. And I enjoy doing it a lot. And that's why I can do videos, I can do pictures, I can anything I want to. The only thing I probably run away from, I run away from writing. I'm not the English writing type. But if you put a gun to my head and tell me I should do it, I'll probably do it just to feed myself and feed the family. So, but it's something I enjoy. Like you said, I used to talk radio with Mikolo, Sam, and what's it called, and me, then Farouk at Unilag FM. Then from there, this went towards go Ogechku in Brilla, did this thing with them, or this fan football store that we normally do on Saturday, did it from there with there. And after those periods, I used when I was going, I wanted to go into coaching, and when I look at the finance and everything, I feel like I might not be able to be patient enough for the politics and everything behind it. So, and I used to coach my female team, my development female team, and Mikolo was a thorn in our flesh.
Sorry, with what license?
So, and after that, I felt like, okay, let me put this thing into use and let me go into sport photography. And thankfully, I got accepted in the way, and Modo did a good job on me. I won't lie. Let me give credit to him. I went to his academy, his Mozero Academy, and from there, we thank God for the progress we've made as an individual and probably as a brand too.
Okachi, for you said it's your second time on the podcast. I mean, we know I've seen stories of footballers. Do you want to say scared of talking, scared on the mic? I mean, they just want to play their game. But how is it like for you, on the microphone, talking about the sports, about football, lifestyle and the likes?
For me, it's fun, but what we're into is the football world. You have to be very careful about the things you see out there, because sometimes people take things out of context. So most people do not want to be on camera making speeches about their career and stuff. So they don't find themselves out there for the people to lash on them or something.
So it's fun for you, more relaxing and all that, because people are scared of expressing themselves. So it takes time. I've spoken with a footballer that I want to interview you, stuff like that, but the people managing the footballer had to say, okay, he's not ready, and it took years. like, okay, he needs media training. He's not ready right now. Maybe come later. We'll reach out to you when he's ready. I appreciate the fact that after a couple of months, a year, and they reached out and say, okay, we are ready now. You can come and have the interview. So I like the respect they showed after such a long time. But, you know, this thing takes time. You just don't, as a footballer, you just don't come on the mic to speak. You have to be sure that you can express yourself very well. You have to be sure that you're ready. But, I mean, it's always a privilege to see footballers on the microphone as well.
And
talking about careers and stuff.
Regarding that, most footballers in Nigeria, most clubs don't usually train their players for such incident. But there's one thing that we should understand, that sometimes you need to actually save them from saying things that they are not meant to say. And in Nigeria, our clubs are not particular about media training for players. But I know of clubs that take their times. I know of a club that actually tell their players that before you go in an interview, talk to the media officer. We will then prepare you for whatever question they might ask you and guide you on how to go about it. Do you understand? So, and basically that's what we do at the CWC. So before you go for an interview, reach out to the media officer and tell him you are going for an interview, and he try and prepare as much as possible. And even while doing the interview, he make sure that he guides you so that you will not go off point. So
all right, well said. Well said. So that's the first bit of the show. We've seen the guys, we've known the guests on the show today. We have a lot to talk about today. I mean, Chelsea, we haven't rested since Chelsea were confirmed champions of the world over the weekend. We'll talk about that. I mean, the Super Falcons are in the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
That's a nightmare for Mikulu.
I mean, I wish Joy was here hosting the show. Joy, our status was lively. As a Chelsea fan, she was so happy.
I thought I was going to meet her here.
You know, and
so we can celebrate.
And the whole world didn't give Chelsea any chance over the weekend, but they eventually pulled through in the end. So we'll talk about all that on the show, and of course we have MPFL people on the set today, so delve into that at some point in the show. So don't you go anywhere. We're going on a very short break, and when we return, we head back straight into it. Welcome back, guys. It is still the Gliders on Bet WGB TV. Now let's delve into it really, really quick because time is not on our side. Timothy, let me come to you first. I know you've been all, waxing lyrical about Paris Saint-Germain, in the build-up to this Club World Cup final. But in the end, it was a shocker in that final. Chelsea, from the sound of the referee's whistle, 3-0 against Paris Saint-Germain. What went wrong for PSG? I mean, they were the overwhelming favourites to defeat Chelsea in that final. Where did he go wrong for Luis Enrique and his team?
I don't know, but there's this thing that Edafe always says that Chelsea, whenever they are playing, and that's if Mikolo was here, he would understand, when Chelsea are playing in a competition, there's always that place for them to compete, whether they are in a good form in the league, whether they are finishing, whether they are not having a good run in the league. But when it's time to compete, they would always turn up that spirit. We have seen it 2012. We've seen it in 2021 against Manchester City. We've seen it in so many occasions where you think that, okay, Chelsea would not be able to do this, but they come out and they eventually do that. So I think that was just what happened to them. And the fans also at the bar, a lot of their fans also believed. I mean, I had a couple of friends who believed that. At a point, I tweeted on Twitter and I was like, Chelsea fans, what's giving you that confidence? And they were like, it's the Chelsea spirit, you cannot relate, it's the Chelsea spirit and all of those things. And eventually that was what came out to play. I don't know how I'm going to describe it. It doesn't mean, of course, that Maresca is better than Luis Enrique tactically. Even if you look at the squad, I mean, you used on
the day.
Yeah, I'm talking about generally. Yeah, of course, I'm just talking about generally. But when you use a Reece James in midfield, and you have a trio of Vitinha, Ruben Neves, and Fabian Ruiz, and you still get to lose the game. I don't know. And there was, I think, Chelsea also started. I think they started Chalobah and Cowell in defense, and then you have although PSG were also short of Pacho, who had a red card in the quarterfinal and missed the semi-final and final. But Beraldo was also the guy who played the semi-final. But I think he had a poor showing yesterday. In the way he played, and although you can't say that was like the old thing that affected PSG, but what really worked for Chelsea was taking your moment. I mean, quick transition. You saw the first goal. Find Palmer quickly, cuts in, then get it in the back of the net. The second goal also cuts in, gets it to the back of the net. I mean, the third goal also, you could see quick transition, find Palmer, then final releases the final pass that got to João Pedro, and João Pedro clinical. We saw the goals he scored in the semi-final against Fluminense. So I think that was just what worked for Chelsea. They had the mindset that they wanted to win. You could see the fans at the stadium. They were chanting. They kept believing. Right from the beginning, Chelsea were, I think, the better side. From the beginning of the game, they had created chances. PSG tried to settle in. Then Chelsea also kept taking it on from there. And the first goal came. And there's one thing that football does. When you score the first goal, especially when it's a final, there's that momentum that comes to you. And
it comes quick as well.
PSG also experienced what they have done to teams recently. They've trashed Inter Milan, they've trashed Atletico Madrid, they've trashed Real Madrid just recently before the final.
But that 3 goals in the first half was sweet, chow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they've
Like
experienced
getting your own bit of the coin.
yeah, you have experienced what you do to other teams, and you are now in that.
I actually wanted 5 actually.
but like when the match was going on, me and Timothy came in back to Lagos yesterday, so I was a bit tired. So I wanted to watch the match, and the network has been frustrating for the past 3 days. So when we were in Ijebu, we were thinking that it was the Ijebu network. But I got home yesterday and the same thing happened. Like I could not, like when you're trying to stream a match and it's keep rolling, you not enjoy the match. So I was forced to go and sleep. But the first half I watched, I saw 3-0. Like the same BSC that people are saying that they will slaughter Chelsea, and they are.
Chelsea is a good team.
And I was surprised. And I remember somebody said on Twitter that Chelsea has the midfield to actually deal with whatever Vitinha, Ruben Neves, and
Fabian Ruiz
will bring to the they have mechanical midfielders that they are very strong, that they could match them toe to toe. And if there's one thing that if you want to win, you have to make sure that you have to match PSG in the midfield, and that was what Chelsea did. And the first goal came, it was like, okay, maybe first goal, maybe they said who first call police go win case, but this one they forced to call the police. Called the police the second time, and they
still win the case.
The case. So I'm happy for them. And there's one thing Chelsea has done. When teams are on the high, they find a way of getting victory against them. That was what they did in Champions League in the last Champions League they won. Man City. So everybody believed like Man City would trash them and just 1-0 covered, and that was all. And today, yesterday, 3-0 first half. That was all.
Yeah, Okachi, for you, I mean, there's this thing they say over confidence does. Do you think it was what happened to Paris Saint-Germain yesterday? I know managers will come out to say, I mean, we don't write people off, we don't do this, but did you sense overconfidence from PSG yesterday, and where did Chelsea get it right on that game from a footballer's perspective?
No, I didn't think it played a part, because I saw the Enrique interview before the game. He knew Chelsea was a good side also. They've had a very good tournament, but you see lots of people on social saying Chelsea went through the easy parts. I didn't think they went through the easy parts, because they played
compared to Paris Saint-Germain
2 to 3.
So maybe it's
Brazilian
easier.
Side.
Maybe it's easier compared to the teams Paris Saint-Germain face.
Well, maybe
on paper though, because I mean it's football at the end of the day.
But these are top teams. This is the Club World Cup.
Yeah, true.
Top teams all over the world, and we are saying it's an easy side. I don't understand. If it's meant to be easy, then I think other teams it should be all the clubs that will be there. But these are clubs picked by FIFA based on, I think, some are for merit and
coefficient.
Yeah. So I don't think they played any easy team.
So what did Chelsea do right for you on the day? Where did they outdo Paris Saint-Germain? Because a lot of people have said the midfield. I think I saw more wing play from Chelsea. They are on the flanks. They were so efficient. Used the ball so well. But watching that game, was it the midfield battle for you that Chelsea stood up for you?
Yeah. Firstly, when I saw the formation, Maresca sent out, I was like, we are losing this game, because I saw James on
midfield.
Yeah, like we have Santos on the bench. We have what was this guy we bought from I think is it Porto or so? What's this guy's name? This defensive midfielder we bought, and you're playing what was it called? A right back in the midfield, where you want to battle against Vitinha, Neves, and co. Like, I thought we were going to lose that game, but I'm a Chelsea fan. I still had that belief that we're going to squeeze out something, and when the first goal came in, I said, okay, tonight might be the night. So I think we won the game from the midfield. My first scare was at the semi-final when Caicedo got injured. We were all praying. I'm not going to say me, because I know all Chelsea fans, they were praying that he gets back and he plays the final, because that guy is everything superb. I think for me, Chelsea can play any team once that guy is inside the pitch.
But the James in the midfield is a gamble.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's always a gamble, because
for me,
information on paper, doesn't always tell what happens.
For me, even if we have a game again, I wouldn't.
Because I remember them sending that lineup. I think one of the matches that he was also playing in that same midfield, and he got injured.
That was the semi-final.
He got injured. And I remember someone was complaining like, "Why would you play Dream James?" And coaches, they live and die by making risky decisions. Something they feel like it will work for them. So he tried it. It worked for him. He's a great coach. But the day it doesn't work for him, he's a bad coach.
Always.
Sometimes coaches work with okay, I know this player. This player knows me, knows my philosophy. This guy has been with me longer than any other person. So I think that's the kind of coach he is, because if you look at him, the Chelsea squad right now, the new players coming in, I can say it's only your Pedro that has come into the team
and gotten straight to the lineup.
Exactly. But if you look at others, it gives them time to settle and then get into the team. So I think that's just it.
Looking at Chelsea now, Timothy, let me come to you. Their overall season, I wish Mikolo was here. I would have asked him, Chelsea and Arsenal season, which one is better now that they are world champions? Because you remember the conversation we had with Man United when the Europa League final, that if they win the Europa League, how
even before we won this trophy, for me, we had a better season than Arsenal. For me,
just with the top four.
Yes,
they won the Conference
League. I don't think in the top four, second, right?
Yeah, second.
Chelsea finished in the top four, fourth.
I think you were here on that episode.
There's no trophy for anyone coming second.
But for me, I know Mikolo might see that like that is not an Arsenal fan before. You just normally play as an Arsenal fan. But I will tell him, I'm not the kind of Arsenal fan that will pretend to you that and tell you this thing. One, life is all about patience, right? And giving the right resources, which is good. But Chelsea had at the end of the day, league match is about 38 matches, right? That means if you make a mistake this week,
and just one champion,
and one champion. So if you make a mistake this week, you have another 37 matches to correct it, right? And you have the chance to always correct your mistake. So they might not have a very good run in between the season where 1-0, 5-0, 6-0. At the end of the day is where you finish. At the end of the day, did they finish fourth? Yes. They won the same trophy as now won in the league, which is qualifying for Champions League. And they had another National Cup in the European Cup, which is the Conference Cup. That's where they played. The one Arsenal played after they know me.
Absolutely.
So Arsenal has Chelsea has a better season than Arsenal.
Yeah.
In all ramifications.
Yeah, of course.
And they have more money than them this season.
Yeah, that's the angle I'm even going to. Like,
financially.
Aside the part of course, like you did say, Chelsea won the league in which they competed in, and in the same league where we actually competed in the league of the Premier League, you were just one spot above me. Yeah, 2 spots.
No. It's not one. It's not even leave the spot alone.
We are all
at the end
going
of
to
the
champions.
At the end of the day, after the first, we have like 3 trophies in the league. Either you win the Premier League and qualify for the Champions League, or you stay second, third, and fourth. One trophy you get. It's not a physical trophy.
Maybe for last season, fifth.
Yes,
as well.
you get to the Champions League. That's the achievement on its own. And did Chelsea achieve that? Yes, they achieved it.
I think that was the
So they
target
had
for
so
Chelsea
either you
actually.
finish second, you finish third, you finish fourth, you finish fifth. Where are you going to? Champions League. Did Chelsea go to final? Yes, they did. So that trophy, they had that same trophy. But does Arsenal have a Club World Cup? No. Do they have? They didn't play in the what's it called? They didn't play in the
They
Conference League.
cannot be
But
invited
they
to the
didn't.
Club World
So
Cup.
they cannot be invited to the Club World
They are
Cup. So
not
they
a-
should.
they are not
Yeah.
a big
So
team.
financially for the Chelsea.
No, they are a big team. Those are not big.
No,
They are
they are
a
not.
big team.
tournament for
They are not a
Chelsea
big
winning-
team,
winning
Jamiu.
it.
Yeah, very, very big, of course, because in the prize money, they've acquired about $114 million in, $114 million.
That's not total money that they will spend.
So there's a lot of
They will
money.
still not spend
Of
the
course,
money,
they got money from the Conference League, although the Conference League is like very, very small in terms of what they get. But generally, for the Club World Cup, they made $114 million, and second was PSG. Down to the list of those teams, and there's a chart that shows the rankings of how the teams made money, and Chelsea, of course, at the top, 114 million. I think PSG are second with 100 and something. I can't really pick the figure out, but that's how Chelsea. Okay, this is the chart on the screen. Chelsea are $114 million, and then there's PSG, and then there's also Real Madrid and Fluminense. And for Fluminense, imagine making this kind of money. That's why in the overview of summary of qualifying what the Club World Cup means, it's a huge money. And then FIFA starting with 1 billion money pool for the first edition means that the subsequent editions would get bigger. So Chelsea already have 2029. There's already there's that money for participating alone. Chelsea already have I don't know what the participation for next would be, but at least I know that Chelsea is guaranteed to an extent 30 million from participation for the next one. It can get bigger, but I know that I cannot go below that. Off my head, considering what participation felt like for this edition. So it's always good when you do well in this tournament, and Chelsea will participate at the next Club World Cup, and then if they go ahead to win it again, who knows? I mean, money keeps flowing in, and for an investor like Todd Bowley, who has really spent a lot of money sacking coaches, paying them off, bringing in players, letting them out, bringing in more players, letting them out. I mean, it's really, really nice at this point that you're getting this kind of money. And then also winning the Club World Cup, I mean, more investments will come in. People want to invest with that brand. Chelsea would, I think they said they will have a logo, a gold badge on their jersey. So
For the next
4
4
years. So it's something everybody
big
wants.
teams
Every
do
brand
that.
wants to put their
Only big teams do that.
every brand wants to put their asset on something like that. So it's really, really beautiful for
But
Chelsea.
looking at what Timothy is saying now, I'm asking myself, my dear MPFL, when?
I thought, Emmanuel, how many years did I mention?
When what?
Emmanuel, how many years did I
When
mention?
I mean, credit to all the
When?
African teams who competed. I mean, we just hope this will happen soon, because I
When?
mean, we had this conversation on the show as well.
When you say soon, like
I mentioned
how many
50
years?
years.
I'm hoping it will happen soon, but we all know.
But wait, you were there when you guys played Super League now?
African Super League.
You were
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, we Aimba, right?
Yeah, he was there.
I was there.
I was like,
The welfare when we got to Morocco, it was nice. It was I felt that feeling of being a professional again after a while, because for the Nigerian teams we have a long way to go when it comes to the player welfare and all that, and these are the things that makes football what it is as a professional. You get so I feel like we still have a long way. We are not ready yet. That's what I would say. I think we're not ready yet. We need to get on the scoreboard, on the board, and draft how we want our football to be in the next
Let's
10
sort-
years.
sort
First, like
ourselves
we need to sort ourselves out first at home. Then we can compete. For now, I don't think we are at that level yet to compete with the North Africans or the South Africans. I don't think so. I think for now our level, for me, I think our level for now would probably be playing against Benin, playing against
But
Ghana.
But- struggling
but
against
we
them.
still struggling against them.
That's why I said our level. Most of the time,
If you go,
even if we struggle,
if
at
you
the end
go
of the
deep
day,
into
we still
this,
come
we'll
out
be
to
driving- we'll be driving to
we still come out to winning
another-
probably by not too much goal margin, maybe 1-0, maybe aggregates. We still come out winning them. So that's why I said our level. That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
You know,
But Okachi, I said something. I said in the next 50 years, we may not have a Nigerian team player at the Club World Cup. Do you think I was insensitive?
I will agree with you.
In the next 150.
That's what I said. I'm trying to.
Is it not too much?
That was what I said.
Except-
Because the tournament is a 4-year tournament
No,
now.
no,
And I calculated
yeah,
12.
yeah.
4 times 12 is 48. That was what I said on that
No,
episode.
except there's a
Okay. It is. If we want to be like, okay, if I want to be a typical Nigerian man, I'm not going to talk like a footballer. I'll be like, in the next 50 years we'll not be there. But this is football we are talking about.
Anything can
A
happen.
lot can happen in a month, in a year, in 10 years. So I'm not going to. We can have one person just come out when it comes to the administrative parts. Someone you have not seen before, and then he
Don't
gets
get wrong.
into this, and then is doing something superb for the league, and then we are growing, and then things are going the way we want things to go, and then boom, we are there.
And I think as well as I want to agree with you, I also agree with him too, because credits to Remo, they are doing well when it comes to their what's called
Exactly.
they have their targets, and they plan winning the MPFL for a very long period of time. They tried, failed, and they got it. In the CAF Champions League too, they've been trying, they've been failing. One day they'll definitely get it right. And 50 years is a long time for them to get it right at the point, because you can't do this, get to the first round and get knocked out in 2 occasions. You will probably learn from it. And one day the draws might favor them, the luck of the draw might favor them, and everything work in their favor, and they get as far as possible. And if they continue the way they have been trying and the way they are doing their structure, maybe one day they might. And whatever I can say, we have also some private, at least 2 private teams in the MPFL that is doing well. Them Ikorodu too, if they should get their heart right, probably get to the CAF Champions League and probably do well. We have people bright mind behind the club structure. So if they should go ahead
For me,
and keep it,
I think we should work on the administrative part. We have the talent, we have good players, we have players that can compete. But then, if we can get the administrative part of our football, then I think it will be easier for us. Like let's say there is a club that came to the Club World Cup. I think what was their name? They played against, is it Bayern?
Oh, Auckland.
Auckland City.
Yeah. I saw something online. I don't know how true it is, that one of the players said he walks, and then from there he goes to training.
Yeah,
It's possible,
and then-
because those clubs are not.
You
can't-
that's that story though.
if you look at it, you can't compete with the likes of Madrid, with the likes of Bayern, with the like of Adelase and co. When imagine a player is not ending up to that. Like,
We are not even saying we should compete yet. We are just saying that
Come on.
we should be there.
But
We should be there. That's what we say. We should be there. So like that's why I mentioned 2 clubs that have good structure that is working for them.
if
at
we're
the
not going
moment.
to compete, I don't think we should be there.
When we get there, we
The
compete.
thing is, I mean, we have the CAF Champions League to
Emmanuel,
use to
please.
qualify.
Yes.
We have the preliminary rounds to qualify
Fine.
for, because that's the struggle. Make it past the
When
preliminary
was the
rounds, get into the group stage proper. Then let's
I
see
think
how we can do.
We didn't even qualify for the last one.
No,
Yeah, no, we did-
Okay, Imba.
There was Rivers
Imba
United
did.
in the CAF Confederations Cup
Cup.
as well recently. So we need to
Imba did.
make that constant,
Yes.
qualify proper for the tournament, not
But
just making it to the preliminary
Emmanuel,
rounds as well.
I don't know. I'm trying. I really don't know, but I know that the format will change for 2029. I know that firstly, the winners of the Champions League for CAF would always represent. I don't know.
I think
they would only-
the one for 2029, I think Pyramid also is already
the winners.
yeah.
Then
So what
the-
was the change you are envisaging in
I
terms of
don't
the
know,
format?
But I know that it's not going to just be the way this 2025 own came. It's the first edition. They just tried to use
Yeah.
some other things, but I don't know. They could probably include the CAF, the Confederations winner. I don't know.
No, I'm not sure.
Do you think champions of the league should be included the previous year before? Because I mean, a lot of people were asking. Champions of La Liga are not there, Barcelona. Champions of England are not there, Liverpool. You know, do you think it's something they should
Then if
try and switch up? The champions the previous year, just I mean,
So we are looking at so many
It
countries.
makes
I'm
sense.
just saying, is that what you think should happen?
If you say champions of clubs should be included, then we don't even have a chance in Nigeria, because the coefficient between I think in the CAF rankings, we are 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
We are still shaking when it comes to comparing.
They will first consider those teams that are always in top 4, and the distance in gap between Al Ahly and Nigeria is a whole lot. That in the next 10 years.
Huh?
No, I'm in terms of coefficient. No, Al
You just called Al Ahly now. You just called Al Ahly now, and you're saying 10 years. No, not 10 years.
So I'm just even like trying to be. I don't want to mention, but in the next 10 years,
Al Ahly is the biggest team in Africa.
Al Ahly may
so
not
when you
drop
call Al Ahly,
in how they play. So it's until they begin to drop that we cannot catch up on coefficients, and the distance between their coefficient and we, even the team in second, third, and fourth. So that's, I think, maybe using league winners will not work. It will not really give everybody a chance, because Manchester City would always be there, and the likes of Chelsea, and the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid would always be there. There will be no chance for other teams to really go in and get to compete and let's make more money for ourselves and all that. But I mean, let's see how it goes. But I think that FIFA have already done well with this edition. Something we did not expect. Many people had doubts whether I was going to hold. I remember the earlier stages of the competition. Before the round of 16, there were so many times where games were stopped due to weather issues, and it was looking like, is this how we're going to run the World Cup? And then, FIFA have eventually finished the Club World Cup. A team has been crowned the champions. Many teams have smiled on with money, and everybody's happy. I mean, it has also promoted some players.
Your club is not happy.
Not a team.
Your club is not happy.
Okay, Chelsea have been crowned champions, and yes, some players have also promoted themselves. The likes of Arias, Fluminense, the likes of John Victor, Botafogo, and also Al Hilal. I think they have a player called Rios there. So I mean, so many players have promoted themselves, and before you know it, they begin to get signed up by so many bigger teams. So it's really a good one the competition is really a good one, and hopefully
it's a good tournament, but it's a lot on the players though.
So are you because we've had this conversation on the show before, are you on the side of Jurgen Klopp when he said, I mean, I know he was overbearing when he said the tournament was the worst idea ever implemented in football, but on the player side, I mean, Chelsea just won it. The Premier League resumes August 15. So what's the break they would have before the new season starts? In terms of players, regaining fitness.
Personally, as a Chelsea fan, I'm scared that we might have so much injury going into the league, because these players haven't rested. The league just ended, and they played in the Conference Cup final, and they went all through from the group stage to the final. And the league is about to kick off in like 2 or 3 weeks time, and let's say look at Cucurella. He played almost all the games in the league, played almost all the games in Conference Cup. He
Nations
played
League.
Yeah,
I think they got to the final.
He got to the
With
final
Spain,
in the Nations League against Portugal.
Yeah.
He played in the Carling Cup, League Cup, and I think FA Cup also. And I'm scared for him that going into the league, it might be so much for him, and he might get injured.
I mean, it tells a lot on how the
player side.
Yeah, and how the fitness team of Chelsea will handle it, because I mean, you need a proper preseason to start the season. Exactly. So I mean, they are professionals. They know how to handle themselves. They know how to take care of their bodies ahead of the new season. But I'm just curious to see how
it is not totally a bad tournament.
It is not. I think it's not. And I like the fact that I'm seeing players I've not seen before. I mean, Sergio Ramos with Monterrey, Mexico, you've not seen for a long time. Koulibaly with Al Hilal, you don't see
these clubs we don't usually watch, that came for the tournament. I think now they'll begin to sign big players to their clubs because of this kind of tournament.
And it also showed us that football is not only played in Europe. I mean,
exactly,
we saw how Fluminense competed, we saw how Palmeiras, even Flamingo competed in terms of course they did not win it, but we saw that football is not only played.
They put on a good show and competed very well.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw the trophy presentation. I mean, Donald Trump wants to get in the party as well. He wanted to. I mean, this is what we criticize the NPFL for. But how different was it to what we see?
He did not drag the cup.
No. This is now, we were saying this thing before the show started, and being someone that has been to several trophy presentation in the MPFL, out of the country and in the country. And I'll say for one thing, it's certain that I like the way they managed the situation, right? So when they started, it was in the picture, and they brought or usually the captain will go and collect the trophy from them to bring it to where the players is before he lifts it. But these cases were different. It was Infantino and Trump that brought the trophy to them. So immediately they did that. You can see Infantino stepped aside, but Trump waited a bit. Right.
Yeah, there was a clip of the players looking like,
what
are you doing here, man?
No. You can see that the players felt surprised that he stayed. From the players, like, why are you staying? Like, let us have our moment. And that was one thing they failed to do in the FA Cup here, where the chairman of the club had to drag this thing with the captain.
But so, I think the difference here is that.
And wait, hold on. And immediately, the Infantino saw that he was not moving. The players has to come, like, make sure that they have to step forward to put him behind the scene so that they will have their moment. So even as a photographer, immediately you get Trump with his quote unquote show of fame, you can still eventually get the presidential trophy picture that you want to get, because the player came forward and Infantino and Trump were at the back.
Well, so I think the players enjoyed it though, because if you go on Instagram and you see most of the Chelsea players posting that
that's
picture.
where I was going to.
If you see, if you see, I think there was a moment when James actually looked at him and he said something to him, and I think Trump said something too also to James, and then before he lifted the trophy up. So I think they enjoyed it. I think Palmer also posted that picture. James did, and
and it was actually smart of James to make sure that he held that trophy until Trump left, and the photographer were able to also, because let me tell you, the joy of every photographer is to see you lift that trophy.
Yeah, that moment.
That picture,
yeah,
it is very, very, very important to us. Like, it's very important. You don't want
why you seize on my picture?
we don't want any distraction in it. Although the distractions make it fun sometimes. Even after you take the what's called because that will definitely create number, because it's not it's an unusual what's called unusual scene.
It's good for the tournament.
You still want to get that players alone in their moment, enjoying the moment. And that scene serves the two. I'm sure by the time it starts the internet, you see a picture where Trump was not there and the players still enjoying their moment.
Well, the Club World Cup is done and dusted.
It was keep the tournament trending even after it has completed.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it was a wonderful tournament, like we said, and shout out to all our Nigerian journalists who went there to cover the tournament. I mean, it's not easy. If you're there as a Nigerian, well, I give you salute. You know, the likes of Jane, Toby Adepoju, Molat, who's also there, you know, to cover this tournament. I mean, it takes a whole lot. It tells you the hard work these journalists have invested in their respective crafts and efforts. We're still on the show. We'll go on a very short break, and when we return, we've still got Okachi and Jamiu here. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Still the Gliders on BetWGB TV. Still here dissecting some of the biggest talking points we saw in football over the weekend. Now, this one hits home. Now, we saw this news when it comes to football in the country. It trended all over the world. Ahmed Musa is now the general manager of Kano Pillars, and he's still very much as a player in the team. I mean, he came out to clear the air that, yes, he's the GM of the club, that he can still be regarded as a player. If he falters, the coach can still punish him and all that. But do you think that will, or do you think that's something you want to see? Jamiu, let me come to you first.
Do you think ask Okachi, please? no, like Ahmed Musa is a player, Okachi is a player. So
do you think that's something? do you think that's? Do you think that's something you want to see? Does he put the league in good light? I mean, this is Ahmed Musa we're talking about. Well respected, done it in Europe. Do you think the players will be holding back a little bit when Ahmed Musa is on the pitch, knowing that he is now also the general manager of Kano Pillars?
I've seen him play in the MPFL when they came to Lagos to play Ikorodu City, and our players that they didn't respect him as Ahmed Musa as a Super Eagles player or the legend. They treated him as a normal player.
Doesn't mean they don't have respect for him.
Doesn't yeah. After the
he's on the pitch. I mean,
after the match, most of our players had pictures with Ahmed Musa. But virtually all the players on the pitch that they had a picture with him, and I took my time to snap them. But on the pitch, Wally was a turn on his flesh. Wally kicked him like he was playing for Wally. Wally kicked him. He got the place where he like, okay, guy, you are on the pitch, you are a player. Let's play.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing that I said before we came on before we came here is that him as a player and him as a general manager, they are two different things. And he does not hold the sole right to sack the coach, even if the coach is not performing. He still has to respect the office of the coach, and because he's the GM, he's not the chairman of the club. So it's also easy for him to know, because he played for one season, so he knows the pain, what is wrong in the club from the player's side. So he knows what to do. I'm sure that the player will expect that their welfare should be better, because he has been there as a player. He knows their pain. You'll probably hear from them. They've had conversation and the things that they are doing that.
Sorry,
that's
Jamiu,
not right.
does Kano Pillars have a chairman?
Yeah, they have a chairman.
Because you know we don't have.
Yeah, no. They have a management for the club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he's also part of the management of the club.
Oh,
But they have a
okay.
chairman. But he's the GM of the club.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So you're talking about the pros now of this move. Now the fact that he's close to the players, he knows the border.
He knows their bond. I'm expecting that the welfare for the players will be better. I'm expecting that if they've not been paying their salary on time, it should be something that he should facilitate and make sure that their salaries are being paid on time, their bonuses are going well as promised. Do you understand? So those are I believe that the other logistics that make a team tick is not just the football on the pitch. Players are actually motivated when things off the pitch are going in their favor. When they get there, when on the 30, I get my salary. Immediately after a match, by the time I'm getting to the hotel, I'm seeing my match bonuses. Those are things that inspires players. These are the things that because you know that
Good welfare.
Yeah, good welfare. It's something that makes them give their best, because they know that okay, even if I put my blood on the table now, and I know that by the time I get to the hotel or wherever we are staying, my match bonus is in my bank account. So he knows. So I'm expecting that if their welfare is like 20% or like let me say 50% before, you go from there to like 60 or 70 or 80 or 90. Do you understand? So I expect that he will know how to treat them better, right? And like he said he will respect the coach. But playing him and not playing him is not his own decision. And sacking the coach does not necessarily the decision to sack the coach does not necessarily rest in his hand. You have to talk to the board and everything before the coach. Okay, coach, you're not giving us the result, you can't go.
Now, Timothy, do you think he should have, allowed the role be? If you still know, because for me, it feels like, Musa still feels he still wants to play. Like he feels he's still got strength to, continue playing. So why not, forfeit the role and focus on the football? Do you think that's what Ahmed Musa should have done? Because I've seen some opinions on social media that he should focus on the game if he knows he still wants to play and allow somebody else to lead the club. Because at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe objective decisions might not be made on Ahmed Musa, knowing the fact that, okay, he's a legend, he's respected, he's the GM. How does this thing play out, in the whole of Caterpillar's hierarchy? And
on that angle, it's a good point for those who feel like, because let's take a look at it. If you're not bringing in a tough coach, it takes a very, very tough coach to say, bro, damn it, you are a player, you're a GM, but right on the pitch or when we're in training, I am still your boss here. I know it's giving that kind of feeling, but it takes a tough coach. But how many coaches can do that? You know that this is the general manager of a club in which you are under his management. When we go into that board meeting, where we go into that coaches and players meeting with the board, if we go into that meeting, Ahmed Musa is sitting up on the hierarchy. You are sitting just as a coach. So it's really, really difficult in that level. But it has to boil down to how he himself would see it, that, okay, even if I'm the general manager, and okay, the coach also has to see that, okay, we have to have a good relationship. Yeah, you're the general manager, but boss, as a player, you have to really do it the way I want it as a coach, play my style, do it the way I want it. And of course, I think it's the captain. Rabiu Ali is the captain of the team, but
Yes.
at least he's also a senior player. So it has to boil down to the relationship the coach would put in, and he himself knowing that, because I am the general manager. Because some players, when they become, if it's some players, and when they assume that role, even though they don't show it physically, but the body language could make the coach feel so less of himself on the pitch. So if Ahmed Musa's body language does not show it that way, then it's good for it's good for both the club and also for the coach himself, because it's going to really, really help. But once that body language begins to show that, I am Ahmed Musa, senior player, Super Eagles player, has been at the World Cups. Two, if I'm not mistaken, played so many games for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, also a legend, played across different clubs in Europe. And then there's this coach who is just coached players across Nigeria.
But it depends on the coach that is coming in.
Yeah,
It depends on the player, because
coaches.
it also depends on the player. Ahmed Musa is not known for,
Indiscipline.
That's what I'm saying. So
indiscipline.
He's a
I'm
good
trying to
leader,
factor
actually.
in. I'm
He's
trying
a
to
good
factor
leader.
everything in, because the coach himself could feel less of himself. It depends on who is coming in to manage the team. But if it's a coach,
But there's currently an illegal tapping of a coach.
so it depends until the coach comes in, and if there's that relationship that can balance things, then there is really nothing that's going to happen. But if there's a coach who is going to come in and feel less of himself, then it could really, really not make things balanced for the club.
I think Imama is that man, because of course it's
Like
not confirmed yet. We hear that they are close to getting Imam Amakabo as a new coach as well.
That is an illegal tapping.
Exactly. So that's why I said it's not confirmed yet. But I think he has that imposing figure. If eventually Canopilas get there, man, I think it's that coach that can be respected, and Ahmed Musa knows what he's done. He's an MPFL winner with Rangers as well. So we wait to see how that one pans out. But Ahmed Musa, like I said, no history of indiscipline. I mean, let's give the player the benefit of the doubt. He said it himself that if the coach finds it deep enough to discipline him, if he doesn't perform, then the coach can discipline him. Outside the pitch, he's in the office, he's the GM. So we'll wait to see how that one pans out. Well, when it comes to the MPFL, Okachi, let me bring you into this now. I mean, we all thought, we have our 4 confirmed teams now for next season.
Yes.
We're talking about this as well just before the show. We have Wiki Tories, Barao FC. We also have, I'm trying to remember the other two now. Kun Khalifat, yeah. There's this talk about, slot buying still coming on. We also have Warrior Wolves as well. But, we'll delve into that at some point on the gliders when we move on. But where did it go wrong for Shooting Stars last season? In the first half of the season, you were part of the team. The team was flying high. At some point we felt, Shooting Stars for the continent and stuff like that. No, now you've been with the team now. Where did it go wrong? What happened to Shooting Stars in the second half of the season? Is it fatigue? Is it? I don't know. What went wrong?
I would say fatigue, and we didn't have a large squad. We didn't have a large
You say
squad.
what?
We didn't have a large squad.
You say what?
We didn't have a large squad. For real.
Okay.
Okay. I would say if you want to argue this, we could go.
No. I'm not arguing with you.
We could go and check the lineup of every game, and then you see the same set of players playing.
Now that's different from not having a large
Wait, now when you have a large squad,
squad.
you make changes even when there are injuries.
Okay.
That's something that is
when there are injuries and you can't, there's no one to put into that position, then you don't have a large squad. If you have a large squad, there's an injury, you can fix in another player. But in a case when there's no player to fix in, then I don't think
Okachi.
See,
I work.
Hold on.
Jamiu, hold on.
Wait first.
Okay.
Wait first. We were like second or third in the first round, and let me use Remo for instance. In the mid-season transfer window, we saw players coming in. No players didn't leave, but in Shooting case, we had players who left.
And do you think those players were adequately replaced?
We got a few, but then we got this guy from what was his name, from Rangers, and he got injured in training. What is the coach going to do? these are the hazard of the game. Injury can come at any time. We had like 2 of them who got injured. They came, and then after signing their contract, that week into the league, they got injured. That's two-man short in the squad. And then we had like the old players who were suffering from injury too. During the league, we Desmond, the centre back, got injured. These things affected the team.
But should I have made Shooting Stars finish in the position in which they finished? I mean, for a team that, like you said, were second after the first stanza of the league, the position in which they finished doesn't look like a team. If you look at the overview generally, like if you're not looking at it section by section, if you look at it, okay, let's take a look through what Shooting Stars did this season. The position they finished on the table, if you look at it generally, nobody will say, oh, this team really had a good season. And nobody would want to factor in the fact that, oh, they had a good first stanza of the league. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
We didn't. For me, we didn't have a good season because I felt like we could have done better. Like when the first round was going to start, we had a meeting with the coach. Called a meeting. He said, "Okay, this is a look at the table. We are like how many points ahead of the teams below us? We are like, I think 5 points, and then we lost all 5 points, which is not a good thing. Which we didn't.
You guys went to Quara and you guys said,
what was the lowest point for you guys last season?
I didn't go to Quara. That was part of the things I was saying.
I said you guys went to Quara.
Part of the things I was saying. I was injured. I could say I played like some games with pains, injury. Like I had to sacrifice because we didn't have players to fill in.
But let's go back to the last squad of 18. Most MPFL player, I think the last club I know that didn't have a very large squad when they started the season was Sporting Lagos. But most MPFL teams usually have at least 30 players before the season starts. I'm saying this from a place of authority. And if you say Shooting Star does not have a large squad, I am not there. But I know that Shooting Star at least had a 10-30 man squad before the season starts. Now, from my own experience, this is how it works. Coaches have their soldiers, their captain, their people that no matter how difficult the battle is, they know, okay, I can call on this and this and this. So when they have injuries, it's difficult for people that are not playing regularly to also match that same level they are, right? I could tell you that in Ikorodu, there's some players that when they get injured, we sweat blood and tears because we know that they are not on the same level with people that will go out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they have a large squad, right? The ability to trust those players that are not usually playing, I guess that might be where the problem is. Now, they might have quantity but not quality.
Does Ikorodu have a large squad?
We have a reasonable squad.
No, it's a question, not. Yes,
we have a reasonable.
Does reasonable means large?
Not really large. Not as large as Shooting Stars with us.
They had 30 players.
But we have.
They had 30 players.
We have at least 30 players.
Okay, then now
But I can tell you that it's not most of them that actually played.
And you cannot even compare. Like you cannot compare Ikorodu to Shooting Stars.
Yes,
because
definitely.
most of the players, they are fresh legs in the league.
Yes, but you guys have that's why I say that.
Oh, I see where you're coming from now. So
the experience should have bailed them out during those periods that they were down. So it's no,
I can tell you, Ikorodu did not suffer any injury because most of the guys that are playing are still the guys that played almost all the games.
So if you are saying
if that same Ikorodu that you are talking about, if I can remove 3 players from that team and they will struggle.
Which I'm not going to disagree with you.
So Okachi, for you, so which of the injuries you feel hampered your team the most last season? If you want to name check a player, a particular player that affected you?
I think Desmond. If you look at our team, when the league started, we struggled a bit. Then we got balanced. during
And you guys
November.
went on a
December, and
10
we
10
didn't-
week.
That
stopped-
month of December
we
was
stopped
was
conceding
really huge.
goals.
This guy is rich by that time. I will pass.
We stopped conceding
away my
goals.
Who my commission?
We stopped conceding goals. We're not conceding
Yeah,
goals.
the clean sheet
and
was massive.
there's a saying: when you want to win titles, you need to have a great team and a very good defense.
No
When you
attack,
don't,
actually.
defense too, because when you don't
No,
concede,
Yeah,
if
defense
you
win
want to win
titles.
league, you have a very good attack. But if you are winning on championship, like on all to score, you need to have a very great defense.
okay, I will
And that's
tell
where
you
you guys
when
fall.
the,
That's
does
where you guys messed up.
Rem, you cannot say Remo attack. Is it better than yours? Than
They,
Ikorodu?
they scored goals.
Okay, how many goals did the top scorer in Remo score?
No,
I
the
think
goals
they
were
spread
spread.
it
It was spread
among
across. Yeah.
themselves. No. Raymond tried
There are
different
games where there are games sometimes where Remo they would win you no matter what 1-0.
Yes.
Yeah, defense is actually
The defense is good.
So you
The
say
attack just
Desmond?
brought-
Desmond is that guy that
He
you guys
affected-
missed
yeah,
the
he
most.
he affected
But the
us
thing of
and he affected us actually. He affected the balance of the team at some point because you could see in Castina what time we considered the goal in Castina.
And that late
That was
goal,
the game
yeah.
he actually got.
Injured.
He was injured. He went to that game playing like trying to manage the situation, but that was the game that he couldn't continue
But
anymore.
shooting stars is not a team
And
that
immediately he went out. We considered, I think, that
Towards
should be
the-
like 90 minutes.
Yes.
I can tell you like three games that were considered that same time. In Ekanemi, we were leading 2-0 in the first half, and in the second half, we considered 2 goals.
Yeah.
Would you say we don't have a good attack? We scored 2 as an attacking side. He scored 2 goals, and in Nigeria League away,
Yeah.
come on, you can't draw that kind of game in Nigeria League. Scoring 2 goals away, 3 goals away, it's always not easy. So I think his injury played a big part.
Well, in case you're
also.
wondering why we are focusing on Shooting Stars, I mean, Okachi is a former player of Shooting Stars as well. But, in terms of injuries, you were Enyimba. I mean, you didn't play much games. The injuries, how were you able to cope in that situation? How were you able to manage those injuries? How is it something you wish could have been better? You could have played more with Enyimba and all that.
Me going to Eyimba was I felt good about the move actually because
I mean, saying but
before-
you're always going to feel good.
that's the biggest team in the country. So before I got there, I spoke to the coach. We spoke on the call and I wanted to do good things there. I wanted to play, but I have got into this stage where I understand that injury comes and there's nothing I can do than just get myself back on the pitch. And normally it's usually not easy mentally for players when you go to somewhere and then you're injured. People start saying a lot, the fans and all that, but for me, all I wanted when I got injured was just to get back and play. The coach was supportive also. Finidi, he was supportive during that period, and I got back, and that's one thing I'm thankful for. That this season I didn't get so much injury. Sometimes you need people to manage you as a player. No one is praying to get injured, but every player has different body, and these things happen. You can see the likes of James in Chelsea, Lavia. These are great players.
With the injuries as well.
Yeah, but they are injury prone. So, but right now, if you look at James now, in the semi-final, he was not injured, but during the warm-up, he had a feeling and they had to take him out. They wouldn't risk it. And in the final, he played almost all the minutes. So you have to have people that manages this stuff for you. And I think that is one thing we also need to improve in the league. When it comes to improving our league, we need to have a good health
Medical teams,
medical team here, because You know, traveling here and there.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. You can travel 18 hours to go play a game.
No, I understand. No, now this is. I always tell people.
You know what it takes to sit
I always tell
for hours.
Hold on. I always tell people that care to listen. Now let's take it away from the players angle, because I travel with my team on several occasions. Our first game in the MPFL, I went to Castina, and for like 1 week, my leg was still feeling it. I was asking myself that if me as a person is feeling like this,
you're not even talking about the weather.
And all are the players that they are going for that injury, they are just a day, at least a day, to rest properly, like a day, and in that day they are still going to go and do shake up in the evening before the next match the following day. How would they feel? And I always say that, you see, when a team celebrate and away win, they have every right to celebrate it as long as they want to, because it is not easy. Like I've done the longest I went to last season was Kano, and I think
you didn't go to Meduguri.
I think but so after that experience, I got to understand the player more, because I work with them daily, and I know that.
But before you got into this, before you got into doing it,
I
used to bash players.
Yes, I used to bash them.
But when you see what they are going through,
when I got there, bro, it's not easy for them. It's not easy on their part, but it's their job. They need to find a way to manage themselves to be prepared. The same way I will not give you an excuse when I'm doing my job. The same way players should not give their excuse. But I will tell you the fact. It's not easy for them. I traveled on the road. Even when we went to Cote d'Ivoire for the AFCON, I went by road. I didn't feel so much pain in my leg when we were traveling, because the road was good. No bad road. But in Nigeria, God bless Nigeria.
But you said something, and you said there's no excuse. Yes, there's no excuse. As a player, as a professional player, I don't think you should have an excuse to doing your job. But also, there are things that makes your job easier.
Yeah, and
there are things that makes your job difficult. You're not going to tell me you're traveling 18 hours to go and play someone who is at home resting, waiting for you to come and play, and you are sitting on one spot for 18 hours. It will tell on your muscles.
And that's two days before the game.
Wait, we're not even talking about the weather.
No,
we're not talking about the weather. Now, look at the Club World Cup we just spoke about. The players are complaining about the weather. They're complaining about the pitch. These are top players that earn even better money than us. They're like, their welfare are top notch. They are complaining. And you think a regular like MPFL player shouldn't have an excuse? No. This thing tells on us, as I am now, for me now personally, I know myself, I know my body. I would not travel 18 hours and want to play. No. Instead, I would prefer not to go on that trip, because I will not put myself at risk, like going on an 18 hours journey to play, and then for the next 2 months I'm not playing. It doesn't tell good of my career also.
You're not even
when people ask questions, and then I'm not even helping the team, and that's not a good thing.
But so, I feel like the other thing the clubs can do is, since they know the peculiarity of our country as a whole, then maybe they should invest more on the recovery of the players. Do things that will fasten or hasten their recovery for them to be ready for
we also need
I hope the 4 promoted teams that are getting to the MPFL will watch this episode on the show and know what to expect when the new season begins, because I mean it's not a main fit.
I'm not supposed to say this, but at a point I was praying that UB Desert does not come back to MPFL.
No.
So because of the distance to travel to
another trip again.
You see this thing I was saying, not only you. Last season, Ikoro got promoted on last year, 2024, and Kanu Sokoto was also vying for promotion. And while we were praying, or we are doing our own job to qualify, me and media director of Ikoro, Sam Bamshidi, we were praying that Sokoto does not go, because we were told that Sokoto is even is the farthest distance than El Kalemi. That El Kalemi is even near. And this particular one, I was actually praying that Jovic start, please, I beg. Just stay in NNL.
It's not a good thing to say, but I can tell you that last season, during the relegation battle last season, some players will be praying for Ekanemi to go back.
Yes.
Because of
the
distance.
Because of the distance, yes.
Well, it's been a wonderful time with our guest on the show. I don't know if you have anything
I
to say.
wanted to ask if it thinks, because I've always seen that opinion where maybe we should zone the league. Like the NNL, there's the Southern Conference, there's the Northern Conference. Do you think zoning the league would make sense, then eventually go to play a playoff with all this distance thing?
My brother, I'm a footballer. I'm not into the administrative part of it, so my own is just for them. Our guys should do the needful. My own is just to get in the pitch and play. Yeah.
So what next for you? Do you want to let the cat out of the bag? I called you a former shooting stars. I called you a former shooting stars player on the show right now. So I don't know if you are still going back.
Anywhere is going to. You should just tell us of that, because the last time he was on a good drought for a very long time. And I told when he was coming to look, I told him, I said, don't worry, we'll go and make sacrifice for you in Lagos. Yeah, you score a goal.
You be Babalawo.
Wait, you score a goal and you score after that period. If you not come and pay your tithe for scoring, you don't go. But I scored it. And
what if I come your team?
Wait, I told him, I said, if you score 1 goal, we'll score 2. If you score 2, we'll score 4. And he scored 1, we scored 2, and they sit up on.
I'm not going to talk about that game.
I'm not saying. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to do like.
Let us know.
When you are going inside, we can make the same sacrifice. It's also a former Ikorodu City player.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so Okachi, Okachi, what's in the workings? What are we expecting next season? Are you moving abroad? Are you still here with us?
I'm still waiting, weighing options, trying to get if I can see something. But then I'm working on things for now. I'm at home.
Typical footballers answer.
Go and meet his agent.
I don't know. It's in the club at the moment, but it's called OMFC.
Yes, exactly.
So don't worry, we'll transfer from OMFC.
No pressure.
Well, we always wish you all the best, and I mean, you are always free to come with us on the show anytime you want to. It's been a wonderful time with our guests, and as well, Jamiu has been wonderful. I mean, top-notch analysis from Jamiu as well. So if you want him on anywhere, you want him to talk sports, not just carrying the cameras as well, which he's very, very good at. So if you want him to talk sport, you can always bring him on. So thank you so much for gracing us on the gliders, Jamiu, and thank you so much, Okachi, Anthony. Timothy, no thanks. I mean, you are always here with us. So good to always have you on the show as well. And to Mikolo, to Joy, I mean, we wish you guys all the very best in Morocco. The WAFCON is still very much on. The Super Falcons and the quarterfinal, they take on Zambia on Friday. We'll be here in the next edition of the show to review whatever the outcome of that game is. We hope the Super Falcons will make it to the semi-finals. Mission X still very, very much possible. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. It's been wonderful on the gliders, and always.